Powering homes, powering farms, powering industry. Clearwater Power's commitment to our members is a simple one. Provide electricity wherever you need it, safely, reliably, and affordably. On the surface, that means flipping a switch. But behind the scenes, fulfilling that commitment means a lot more. Powering members means turning adversity into opportunity. Last year, the Idaho State Department of Transportation announced plans to widen sections of Highway 95 north of Potlatch. That presented the co-op with the not-so-small task of moving 6 miles of perfectly good power lines. Instead of looking at this as a negative, the co-op's engineers and line crews used it as an opportunity to make improvements to that area.
We were able to make improvements. We were able to put the 2 lines together onto 1 line. Our transmission and distribution got consolidated, and we were able to eliminate all of our overhead crossings across the highway. There's less poles and less wires susceptible to traffic, and we're putting underground underneath our road crossings, so we're eliminating overhead road crossings for better infrastructure. This is not a typical project for us. We usually do maintenance and new construction. It's been a good job. We've got a good crew and everybody gets along well, and it's been a lot of fun.
Powering members means being ready to roll at a moment's notice. Whether it's a late-night outage or some other calamity that affects our infrastructure, or both, as was the case this summer during an outbreak of area wildfires, Clearwater Power crews were put to the test, responding to 6 different fires throughout our region.
When the phone rings in the middle of the night, you pretty much know what it is. Get up, get dressed, head to work, that's what you're paid for. It was difficult getting into some of the areas. We had to build road with the backhoe and trying to get the men and equipment in to where we could replace the poles that were down. You had helicopters flying overhead, dropping water and everything on the fire, trying to do what they could, but as the news said, it kind of took off and took a whole bunch of land with it. The first time we went down to the Grizzly complex, I think it was one of the first ones, there was smoke coming around, and they finally decided to send somebody down there to see what was burning. Before you enter into a situation like that, always take a breath and think about it and don't get in a hurry. So yeah, of course, safety is always on our mind and everything, because we're all out there looking out after each other. A lot of hours. You'd put in a lot of hours, but I mean, that's our job.
Powering members means venturing into new areas, and our crews are no strangers to out-of-the-way places. But this year, we brought electricity to a place that really was off the map.
We did one of the longest line extensions I've ever done in my 20 years here. It involved approximately 9 miles to obtain power down to Promise, Oregon, in an area that had been entirely off the grid until just recent weeks. Where the existing overhead power line was, the landowners required it to be underground. Once we got to the bottom of the hillside, in order to get up that hillside, the only way to do it was with overhead aerial spans. And then we went back in the ground for about the next 8.5 miles. For this job being as big as it was, from beginning to end was about 3 years, mostly of legwork, working with the people in Promise, Oregon, the landowners, obtaining easements, line design, and then the construction side of it, bringing the power into the accounts underground where they already had all these buildings that were off grid. It took some work for everybody. Having one crew stationed over there for about 9 weeks of leaving early Monday mornings, coming home late Thursday nights, and everybody come together, and it worked out well.
Powering members means a commitment to communication. Our online outage map and Facebook and Twitter updates provide members with up-to-date critical information, and our Smart Hub app helps people be smarter about how they use their electricity.
Smart Hub is available to the customer by logging on to clearwaterpower.com or by using the app on their phone. They can look at their daily usage and compare this year to last year as well. You don't have to be an energy expert to use it. I had a customer who has a cabin, and they came up for a weekend and turned the heat on and forgot to turn it off when they left. So when he was home and got his bill, he was concerned as to why his usage was so high when they had only been there for the weekend. I used Smart Hub to determine that the heat didn't get turned off when they left, and so we figured out their problem. It's a good feeling when we're able to help them track down where their power's going. They're satisfied that they know what's being used, and we're satisfied to be able to help them.
Powering members has been our pursuit for nearly 80 years, and each year brings new challenges and new opportunities to us all. How we embrace them is what matters in the long run, and for us, that means keeping our focus on you. Clearwater Power, powering members since 1937.